Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott at Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. Today, we're going to be talking specifically to you mompreneurs with some tips on balancing it all, or juggling as the case may be. Our special guest is Kristina Coderre from Mind BS. I'm so glad you could come, Christine.
Thanks for having me, Mary.
So let's talk about mompreneurs and all the different things they have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I work with these beautiful, multi-passionate, creative, and driven parents, many of whom are also entrepreneurs. And all they want is to live a balanced, happy, and productive life without sacrificing who they are and what they love. And that can feel impossible, like you said, when they're juggling all of those balls, for sure.
What are some of the tips that you give people?
We tend to search for solutions outside of us. We go to systems, we go to productivity tips, we go to different lists and softwares. And as a burnout coach, I can tell you that the real issue and the real solution comes from the inside. And so what happens is that we end up having these definitions for success for all of our multiple roles. So we have a definition of success: what makes a good wife, what makes a good sister, daughter, friend, worker, all of that on top of the definitions of what makes a good mom, which comes with so many hats, right? Like chef, well-being manager, chauffeur, memory maker, planner, behavioral specialist, and like chief problem solver of the household, right? And so it ends up that we feel like we're being pulled in all of these different directions because of all of these different definitions of success. That creates a conflict inside of our body. There are different parts of us warring with each other. And what that actually does is it drains our energy. And it's impossible to be productive when we have no energy. So everything I do focuses on stopping the leaks of the energy, being very clear about where we're putting our energy, and then filling our cups back up.
One of the things that helped me as when I was raising small children and being an entrepreneur was to stay on mission. And I defined my mission is to get those kids functional in their own apartments, contributing positively to the society by the time they're 18. Anything else they do is on them. But that's the mission. And all of the work and stuff goes towards that mission. I don't know if that's the sort of thing that helps people, but it helped me.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that you brought it up because that's exactly the point, is to define that mission. So we don't have all of these warring definitions of success. We combine it into one definition that is our mission. And what I love the most about your mission is that it actually eliminates a lot of the fluff, right? When you're saying everything else is their responsibility, that takes a lot off of your shoulders as a parent. I have a little exercise that maybe we can do with our parents today who are mompreneurs. And that is just to think 10, 15, 20 years into the future. If you're living your best life, who's with you? What are your relationships like? And what is bringing you joy? And on the converse side, what is the one thing that cannot be missing from this like dream vision? Like if it wasn't there, you would not be living your best life. And what that does is we start coming up with the ideas of what matters most to us. And so when we start doing these exercises, we start realizing that like $1 million and a wildly successful business maybe doesn't mean as much if we don't have a solid relationship with our kids.
And another major epiphany for me was discovering that happiness is a byproduct, not a goal.
Yes.
It's what happens when you're on mission doing something you love or something that's really going to be helpful to other people.
Yeah, it happens when you're aligned with your true self.
And so you can't make your kids happy.
No, you can't. They have to figure it out on their own. But you can help them to stay aligned with their true self. That's the key. And what I love about the work that I do and helping parents and mompreneurs find balance is that we start modeling for our kids what living a happy life looks like. We start modeling the habits that lead us to feel like we're successful and lead us to have additional energy and additional happiness, which starts making that normal.
You need to be modeling positive. And there was a great phrase somebody came up with that ain't mama happy, ain't nobody happy.
Yes.
So, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be useful to other people either.
Yeah, and when I started doing this work, I didn't actually know what it meant to take care of myself. I didn't know how to replenish myself. I didn't know how to rest, honestly. My only definition of rest was sitting on the couch, and that didn't feel good to me. And so what I wanted to share with your moms today and your mompreneurs is that once you start defining what really matters to you, the way to keep on track is to have super healthy boundaries. And so now I've realized there's actually boundaries with others and also boundaries with ourselves.
So could you describe a little bit of your process?
I'll just talk about boundaries, which is one element of the process. And one of the things that challenged me the most is that I was trying to create boundaries from a place of should. So we have our true self, the true self that really, knows what we want. And then we have what I call our programmed self, which is what the world thinks we should want. And so I was trying to create boundaries from I should do this for my kids, or I should do this for my spouse. And then it wasn't working because I still had that internal conflict. So my process is actually a value-based, no BS boundaries. And so it starts from that very clear definition of success. We go through exactly what your values are so that you know what you want to anchor to. And everything starts from there. Then you can create your aligned action, let go of all of the mind BS, untangle the truth, and then decide exactly where you're going to put your energy. And if you notice, that's spelled value, VALUE. And so what's different about my view on things is that everything is about energy. So your boundaries are also about energy. They're about deciding from the moment to moment exactly where you want to put your energy. And that has allowed parents and mompreneurs to let go of the guilt.
Do you have another tip from your process, Kristina?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the tips to help refill your cup is to start linking your mind, body, and soul. And that has been a game changer for me. So we tend to think of everything from our mind. I want to rest my mind, and that's fantastic. But what really replenishes your body is when you start becoming truer to yourself. And so, like, for example, if I'm walking and I'm walking my dog, that's a body activity. That's fantastic. And if I can slow my mind down while I'm doing it, so I'm not sitting there going, okay, so when I get home, I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do this while I'm walking, then now I've got my body and my mind. And if I can start connecting with nature at the same time, that's a soul activity. And all of a sudden, that activity that I've been doing already, my walking activity, is now, 10 times as replenishing because I'm slowing my mind and linking in my soul.
Well, those are some excellent tips for mompreneurs and anybody for that matter. The other thing is that at the end of the day, what you got done was enough.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Yes.
It was enough. And you go on to the next. And over expecting from from yourself, it can be just as terrible as over expecting stuff from your kids.
Yeah.
What is what is. So thanks again, Kristina Coderre from Mind BS. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff. I want startups to be wildly successful. And one of the best things you can do to accomplish that goal is book a synergy call with me at businessriff.com. And join us again next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.